Fernando Alonso has fired shots at Verstappen and Hamilton, saying that they're lucky to dominate in this era and have attributed their success to the FIA's regulations, blaming them for allowing one team to dominate this much. This might come as a shock to some, but if you look at it in detail, you'll see that Alonso might have a point to some extent. So join us as we take a look at why Fernando decided to let it all out in the media rather than on the track. Now, Fernando Alonso believes that Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton don't have the same level of influence in their F1 teams as some of the Formula 1 legends, like, for example, Michael Schumacher. When he first joined Ferrari, the team didn't instantly become a powerhouse, as it took 5 seasons before he won his first Drivers' Championship with them, and prior to Schumacher, Ferrari hadn't seen significant success since 1983. Alonso himself has 2 World Championships from 2005 and 2006, along with 32 race wins, and has looked rejuvenated this season with his new Aston Martin team, claiming 7 podiums in the first 14 races of the season and sitting 3rd in the Drivers' Championship. Now 42, the Spaniard may have given up hope of winning a 3rd world title, but is still hoping to add to his tally of 32 race wins, having not won a race since the 2013 Spanish Grand Prix. And he claimed that both Hamilton and Verstappen's success is just down to being in the right place at the right time. When Hamilton went to Mercedes, he didn't build anything to be a champion. It was just a change of regulations, hybrid engines that changed everything on the grid and pushed Mercedes to the top, he told Marca. I feel the same with Max. When he joined Toro Rosso and Red Bull, Hamilton was still winning everything. Red Bull is not a winning team because of him. It's just that another regulation change in 2021 has meant that they now win every race. Well, Alonso's recent comments, which look like they're aimed more at Verstappen's current dominance in 2023, also carry a subtle nod to his intense rivalry with Hamilton during their 2007 stint as teammates. Alonso's 2 World Championships were achieved with an underdog team in Renault, triumphing over the then dominant Michael Schumacher and his Ferrari, who had secured 5 consecutive titles in the early 2000s, and he held the title of youngest world champion in F1 until Hamilton and Vettel later took that achievement. Since then, replicating that level of success has proved elusive for the Spaniard, and throughout his career, it's been a narrative of near misses, be it the heartbreak of losing the championship by a single point in 2007, or Vettel's dramatic recovery in the final race of the 2012 season to snatch the title from Alonso. Now he's positing that success in Formula 1 might have more to do with luck than sheer skill. When we say that we can build teams around us, I don't understand it. This is a sport where technical decisions, regulations, or the inspiration of the design office make more of a difference than your input, your comments, your personality, or your driving. You just have to be in the right place at the right time, because a lot of success still depends on luck. And look, but the same applies to him. He's an all-time great driver too, but the no tyre changes rule in 2005 helped Fernando win his first title, as the Michelin tyres worked better for that rule compared to Bridgestone. No driver is the sole reason for a team's success, and it's about being there at the right place and the right time. No matter how good a driver can be, Alonso has praised both Lewis and Max a lot. A lot of other factors outside his control will decide how the season goes. There are no lies there. Max would not be dominating with an Alpha Tauri, and Hamilton wouldn't have won 7 titles with a Williams or a Haas, just as Alonso wouldn't have won his titles with a Toyota. Of course, these 3 drivers are all-time great because, when the right moment and place aligned, they maximize the performance output of their cars. The teams are so huge now and the cars are so refined that I think the idea of a driver building a team up to be winners isn't really possible anymore. They drive the car, and some will give better technical feedback than others, and that's exactly where a good leader shines, as he does not need to work on every part of the car and understand it, but he needs to give the feeling to everybody that he cares, and he as well does all he can to move forward, and that's the only way in such huge and complex teams now. If he just sits in the car and drives fast, that's not enough, because you need so much more than that to build a winning car now. Which is what Red Bull are doing, partly because the FIA regulations are allowing them to, which also annoyed Alonso. Last season, the RB18 created by Adrian Newey dominated, securing victories in 17 out of 22 races, propelling the team to a championship double, and this year, the even better RB19 remains undefeated. Red Bull's performance has been nothing short of extraordinary, claiming victory in all 14 of this year's races, including 6 instances of a 1-2 finish. Max Verstappen consistently crosses the finish line with a significant lead over the closest non-Red Bull competitor, and Alonso, in light of this, concedes that there is an evident issue with the current set of regulations. There are 2 views. One is that the new regulations have brought good things for sure. He admitted to Cadena Ser's El Laguero, "We can follow these cars much more closely than we could in the past. There's not so much turbulence or dirty air when you chase the car that's in front of you. I think we also have a very tight grid, removing the 2 in front, which is what everyone is interested in. However, if you look from 3rd on the grid, a non-Red Bull, to the last, sometimes moving into Q1 is very difficult because in 410 there are like 16 cars. So in this sense, equality has been achieved." Red Bull's success story has left Alonso 1 place short of a 33rd race win on 3 occasions this season: Monaco, Canada and the Netherlands. In all 3 races, he was runner-up to Verstappen, with the driver admitting that the constant questions about when that elusive 33rd win will come can be tiring. "At first it was fine, now it's not that, it's tiring," he said. "Now you're afraid of disappointing with so much movement that there is about the 33. Every day you start working, there is a goal, and if you share that with more people, with the fans, and everything comes together in one number, 33, we all continue in the same direction, and we'll see if it can be achieved." Fernando has confidence in his team's ability to provide a competitive car capable of competing for race victories, even if it means matching the pace set by the RB19. Currently, Max Verstappen's dominance has prompted some to voice concerns about F1 losing its excitement, but Alonso argues that this is simply a basic aspect of Formula 1. He thinks that F1's history has always been marked by diverse teams and the pivotal role of evolving technology, and this fundamental dynamic is likely to persist due to its position as the premier racing category. Although other racing categories like F3, F2, Indy and karting may offer more immediate excitement, F1 undeniably holds the greatest influence. When evaluating the rising stars in the new generation of drivers, Alonso commends Lando Norris as a remarkable talent and a personable individual. He also notes Alexander Albon's standout performance this year. Additionally, he mentions Gabriel Bartoletto, the recent F3 champion, and Pepe Marti, a young Spaniard who recently signed up for Red Bull's driver program. While Alex Albon faced challenges during his time at Red Bull, he's returned with newfound confidence, catching the attention of the top teams on the grid. Red Bull is particularly keen on securing the services of Lando Norris, who races for McLaren, and if either driver were to have a car capable of contending for a world championship, it would certainly be noteworthy. Personally, I think that the new regulations seem to have accidentally or not favoured Red Bull's strengths, contrary to what fans were hoping for. There was a miscalculation in assuming that this shift in power dynamics was what the audience desired, and in the FIA's eagerness for a refreshing change at the top, the total opposite effect has occurred. There's now a concerted effort to downplay the obvious, but the reality remains unchanged, and whether it's within the same team, or ideally across different teams, what the fans truly want is the thrill of 2 or more drivers fiercely competing for victory each race. What we find ourselves settling for at the pinnacle of motorsport is the unfortunate predictability of knowing who the winner is before a single wheel has even turned, and the not so big excitement about who will secure second place. So what do you think? Does Fernando have a point? Or is he just jealous that Verstappen and Hamilton are becoming more successful than him? Let us know down in the comments below, like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.